Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. I'm so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Hi guys, this is Ben from Ben's RPG Pile. Today we're going to talk about the Pathfinder adventure card game. I thought we'd do a nice little twist for the video this month, and we love D&D, we love making terrain, we love role-playing games, but I'll tell you guys, this game is fantastic. We played it at Gen Con. We sat in on the Pathfinder panel that had Mike Selinker, and the CEO of Pathfinder was also there. It was fascinating. And we really, really enjoyed the game. So we snatched it up, and we've been playing it a lot lately. And I thought we'd talk about some things that we've done to make the game a better experience. So the first thing is, guys, this is how the cards come, right? They just come on a deck, and they're very nice cards. They're good quality. I am playing this game with my 9-year-old daughter a lot, and she's not the cleanest person on the planet. There's always something sticky or dirty on her fingers, and it is a given that she is going to mark up these cards, bend them, whatever to them. It's just the natural law of society kind of thing. So we decided to put them in sleeves, card sleeves. And I see this question a lot on the forums. People say, which card sleeves? Well, I'll tell you, be careful, because Amazon has a few card sleeve people selling them, and they're not necessarily the great ones. I highly recommend that you get this exact kind. The Ultra Pro Deck Protector sleeves. They come in 100 count. Standard is what you want there. And they're a really good quality. And they do make shuffling a little bit trickier sometimes, and they also don't fit in your box perfectly. But another suggestion is we just rubber band everything and put them all in the box. So if you're playing this with any type of child or even a messy adult that you know, and I know some friends that are that way, I highly recommend the card sleeves for the game. Yeah, it takes a little bit to sleeve them all up, but big deal. We did. My daughter and I did it in an afternoon, and then I'm also don't have to worry about the cards are all random, and it's a surprise what you flip up. So you don't want to be putting anything on these cards that kind of gives it away, like, oh, that magic chainmail, that's the peanut butter and jelly stain card. I know that one for sure. It kind of ruined the game. So I highly recommend this particular card sleeve. You certainly can do whatever ones you want, but these have worked out really well. And just be careful on Amazon. At least if you buy the cards on Amazon, read the reviews of the sleeves, because there's a couple of vendors out there, one in particular, that's selling the cards at the wrong size. So, okay, so that's cards. Next thing I want to talk about is dice. So the game comes with a set of dice, no D20 obviously. And the dice are fun, but what really makes this game a blast for me, part of it, is you get to roll a whole bunch of dice. And I see a lot of people re-rolling the same die. Well, certainly you can do that, but hey, why not maximize the fun and get some more dice? Get a big old pile of dice. That way when you have to roll, 2d10 and a d6, it's just, there's a little more shake in that hand. And it just feels better, and it saves some time. We also do a trick where we'll put the die on the card. So, because we're trying to figure stuff out. So if Valros gives Linny a D4, well, we put this on there, and then, Linny's got a blessing of the gods that's going to give her, can't really see those, sorry. Give her a D10. Well, we set that on there, and that just kind of helps us flush it all off. But extra dice are really handy, and I think we all have lots of dice, right? So coming up with extra dice should be kind of easy for many of us gamers. So recommend the dice, and to go along with the dice, and not to mention your daughter will have such a great time. Your daughter or son will have such a great time picking out their dice from your big old collection. But to go with dice too, you want to maybe get a dice bag. I found this, my daughter loves the Power Rangers, God help me. And so I found this one at Gen Con this past year. I couldn't believe it. It was total luck. And so I gave this to her when I got back from my trip, and she keeps all her dice in here. And then she just has that little dice bag, makes me a happy, proud father kind of thing. But I don't like these guys. So the next thing I want to talk about are these cool play mats that they came out with. Unfortunately, these went pretty quick. They were available at Gen Con. I'm pretty sure they are sold out. They might have started to release them again, but they came out with a pack. There are 4 of them. So the art's amazing. This is my favorite one. Lenny, by the way, one of the best characters in the game, I think. But one of my friends joked, "Oh, they're just stupid mouse pads." Come on. Yeah, they are mouse pad material, but they're still fun, especially if you're just learning the game. They have a discard slot, a character deck slot, a character card slot, and then a buried card slot. And so they really kind of help you start to understand the game quickly. And it's just fun. The flavor's fun. And of course, I'm sure Paizo will be re-releasing these sets and all the other characters as well. I would be shocked if they didn't. So even if you can't necessarily get them now, but you might be able to, I would at least watch for these in the future. And it's just another way to have a good time while you're playing. Let's talk about add-on decks. So there are 2 decks that don't come with the game. The first one is the character add-on deck. It contains 110 cards. It increases the number of players to 6. Game can be played with 4 out of the box. Is $20. It's great having that character diversity and being able to pick from other characters. So I would definitely pick this guy up. You can also get a subscription to from Pathfinder, and then you can just get these, and then any promo cards that come out, you'll automatically get those as part of your ongoing subscription. So that's not the most economical way, because typically these are a little bit cheaper from other places on Amazon, but the promo cards are pretty tantalizing. So that's why I did the subscription. I also wanted to talk about character sheets. These are available off the Paizo website, and they're very handy. You do not really want to mark your cards up with a permanent pen or anything. That would be like just crazy to do. So as you level up and certain things get added here, and also to keep track of your deck, because you're going to have many games going on concurrently with other groups of people. It's much easier just to keep a character sheet and then just check off the items you have, check off if what you've played when you go up in certain stats. So these are very handy, and I would suggest keeping a stack of these in a folder, and then keep them in your box, and then you can just mark these up as you go. We'll include a link for this too, but I highly recommend the character sheets. Also wanted to point out the FAQ. There's a official FAQ on the Paizo website for the game here. I'll put a link there as well. And this is very handy because you want to read this. There's been changes to the game naturally, right? Some people give Paizo a hard time about things not being perfect in the game, and I've been through the game creation and beta testing process. It is insanely difficult, so I would like people to back off on that, by the way. But it's natural. There are going to be interpretations and changes and things that are missed. It's just part of life. Nobody releases anything perfectly. So we printed this out, and we keep this in the box. And one thing in particular that we do is that all the cards that were that had stuff in particular, we mark those here. They're near the back. And then I'll show you how I got one right here, as a matter of fact. Yeah, good. So we have this printed out, and then what we do is, here's another reason why the sleeves are important, is because they're helpful. So there's a rule tweak on this card. So we just put the dot on there, and then we realize that, hey, there's when this card comes up, it kind of reminds us that dot reminds us to go and check the FAQ for what happened, right? And right there it says it gives you the change on the card, but we'll eventually have these memorized, and we'll take the dots off. They do sometimes accidentally come off, these little sticker dots, but when you're shuffling, but it's no big deal. But this printed out and this dot makes a great, powerful combo to keep your game moving and to do stuff right, because of course you want to try to play the game as accurately as possible. I also wanted to recommend 2 places you can go online to help you as you play the game. One is the Paizo official adventure card game forum. They're insanely nice people on that forum. Fromper is one of them. Happy 4. Cannot really sure how you pronounce her forum name there, but they are incredibly nice. There's several other people there that are there just help you in a moment's notice. So don't be afraid to go to those forums and post questions. So another place to go, though, is the Board Game Geek forum. Also, they have a Pathfinder adventure card game section. Those guys are also very, very knowledgeable and very smart, and a bunch of them will really help you and be kind to you and offer suggestions and corrections, and they are very patient. I asked a ton of questions in the beginning, and probably too many, and the majority of them were very kind to me and helping me, and I've tried to post back answers to help other people too as a way to give back. But you should really check out those 2 forums as you're playing. The only thing is, try to read that rule book a couple times, and when somebody does give a correction, try to find that spot in the rule book where they gave you the correction, so you can kind of, put it all together. Another helpful thing is there's a couple of forums on there's a couple YouTube channels that have done some insanely good walkthroughs. One is a guy named Tim Norris, I think. Forgive me if I get that wrong, but I'll put a link to his channel. And he's done this great series with his wife. They're just super cool people. And I think they're called Gray Elephant Games. But they do great walkthroughs of the game, so if you're just starting out, you should definitely watch them play those. They're funny and they're lighthearted, and they have amazing camel work and tons of editing, unlike this video. So watch those too. Another one I think is Critical Hit, or Hits. I always forget which he is. But he also did a great review, and he shows you how to play solo. So you have a 2-person game and a solo game, and man, those videos are helpful. So don't miss those videos. Take advantage of that World Wide Web we live on. So there you go.
Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't come to school, but when he finally came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed his soul.
So next thing I want to talk about are mouse pads. They're not mouse pads. Come on, Ben. And duty.